Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Why you say something, man?
We're back at it once again. Welcome to Let the Madness Begin. Marshawn Taylor, William Coleman. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. What about yourself?
Oh man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Like they say, beautiful day to be alive.
Beautiful day to be alive, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So, we titled this "Why Are You Mad?"
Yeah, why is the title Why Are You Mad, son?
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up. So we'll start off with I arguably believe single-handedly one of the greatest small forwards ever to play the sport. 6-time champion, gold medalist. You could say that he was probably one of the foundational pieces of one of the greatest dynasties to have ever been assembled.
Okay.
And he right now is the biggest hater to Michael Jordan. That is Scottie Pippen.
Okay. So what's Scotty up to now? What's Scotty?
He got a book coming out.
Yeah, I heard about the book.
And he's already saying the documentary, he was used as a prop. They didn't get paid for the documentary. Now, before I continue this part, they say Michael Jordan made $10 million from the documentary. Now, 10 million is a lot to me.
Right.
1 million is a lot to me.
Right.
I don't think $10 million even puts a dent in Michael Jordan's.
No.
He probably
that's probably his cigar money.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
cigar money.
Like, so that lets me know that him and Scottie Pippen are on two financially different planes.
Right.
So, but yeah, that came out. He feel like that he been disrespected. That Michael Jordan really doesn't take his accomplishment, and not just his. He brought up other people. He brought up B.J. Armstrong. He went back to B.J. Armstrong. He went to Tony Kukoc, which he has said himself he wasn't a big fan of. And,
right.
Yeah. So he said that Michael Jordan pretty much crapped on them during the whole documentary, The Last Dance.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched The Last Dance like 4 or 5 times. I
think there was some missing pieces, and I lied to you not. But I mean, basically the focus was Michael. He was the main focus of Michael and Phil Jackson.
Right. So here's the question I want to ask you. Do you think it's fair for Scottie Pippen to feel the way that he feels when you really look at the whole, as the people like to say, the totality of it is the fact that it is Michael Jordan.
Right.
It's not like it was B.J. Armstrong's documentary. You was a footnote in that.
But I understand. He can be mad, but you got to understand it wasn't about I don't care what y'all say. It was about Michael Jordan. It was he was it was about the whole everything that let them think about how it was based. It based from everything from when Michael Jordan came to the Bulls,
right,
up until when they made the playoffs,
right,
started making the playoffs,
right,
to the run into the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Michael was the focus throughout the whole thing.
Right.
Now, I see what Scotty is saying. It's supposed to be about the last dance, but ultimately it's about Michael's last go around as a Bull in Chicago.
I agree.
And then it was fulfilled, and then a distant third, and then maybe Dennis Rodman, then a distant fourth was Scottie Pippen.
It's funny you say that because I actually was surprised that Rodman had a bigger role in it.
Right. But you think about it, I don't think they would have got them 3 without Rodman.
No, I know they would have because when Horace Grant left, they had a whole like that. They needed that person,
that edge, yeah.
Which, by the way, just not on topic. If you really think about it, LeBron James has always built his teams the same way, the exact same way. So that lets you know that he understands not only Michael Jordan but Phil Jackson how to put together teams. He
knows how the roles, how things. Like you said, if you pay attention. Jerry Krause and Reinsdorf, they were smart in how they put the team together.
Oh God, yes.
They're very smart how to put the team together. Pretty much, and they put it in Phil's lap, and he made it happen in his own way. Which kind of, like I said, you be honest with you, it was a stroke of luck. You think about it, it could have went left.
No, you're right. I mean, everybody right. had to understand
their roles.
Right. And I agree with you. So you know what? Luck is a good word.
Right. Because you think about it, it's like if you put any kind of team together, like you say, you take the best, like at your job, and you take the people who, like say for instance, you get to your job, at a job I worked at one point. First you got there, everybody worked along, everybody got together, the things just flowed.
Right.
And then say that one person, maybe a cashier or a cook, that quit. You get a new team playing, and you got to bring them up to speed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying
about that. Yes.
And then but you still have the same manager. You may still have the same main two cooks, same main two cashiers, but you got to train up one to get up to speed.
Right.
But even if they get up to speed, they may not fit the role as they should. A lot of times, and it happens. Either it works or don't work, or it doesn't work as good as it did before.
Right. And it's funny that you put it that way, because a lot of people don't realize we're used to the NBA now, where they could pick and choose where they want to go. Back then, it was all draft. That's it. You got drafted to a team unless they traded you.
Right.
You was literally going, or you was a role player that they could just let go. Right. Usually, if you was the star, so them getting all those pieces and were able to make moves is really what helped them out.
Right.
But do you feel like, let's take it like this, and I'm gonna add something off the field, a little stuff off the field with Scottie Pippen, but do you think Scottie Pippen feels disrespected by the NBA? That he feels like the NBA does not appreciate him?
Yes, because when they start comparing, think about years back, when they started comparing LeBron and Michael, every time they turn to Michael, who he throw in the mix?
Scottie Pippen.
Right. He threw himself in there. Well, yeah, he plays more like me because, he's a forward and he's the same, that sort of thing. But yeah, he'd be more closer to me or Magic Johnson than he would Michael. But at the same time, you got to look at it in a sense. It's more or less the presence, the aura, and the weight he carries when he steps onto the court in the game, as opposed to what his position was, his stats, his build, his height, weight, all that.
Right.
And people don't understand that a lot of times when trying to compare Michael and LeBron. You like comparing a Corvette to a Lamborghini. Both pretty fast, well built. But when it comes down to it, one's a foreign made car, engines in the wherever.
Right.
Same thing. The other's American made car. And you break it down however you want to break it down, but the same, but they're similar but not the same.
No, I agree. I don't like the comparison because they're not the same.
Yeah.
Kobe and Jordan, I get
that.
They're close and built and everything.
Right. You trying to
but so I get that. But when we look at Scottie Pippen, how do you think history is going to remember Scottie Pippen now? And the reason why I say now is because
bitter.
Okay, I like that, because The Last Dance actually, I love Scottie Pippen, and I when growing up, Michael, we're from North Carolina, so Michael Wilmington, so Michael Jordan was everything. From the shoes to the commercials, and you want to be like Mike.
And people don't understand, like when Michael and I tell folks they don't realize this. Michael was the first person to actually make basketball a part of fashion. Like you wear like a basketball jersey, a basketball shorts, basketball shoes. Like when I was coming up in school, like you wore basketball shoes, you played basketball.
Yep, you're right.
People don't understand that. You played basketball. You wore Jordans, you could play, he made to wear it was fashionable to wear even though there was Chuck Taylors. But no, he made it a thing, a fashion, not just a fashion to wear.
You're right.
And he changed the whole game.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we're going to address that with and see if that could be part of it too. But for me, the Last Dance really hurt my thought process with Scottie Pippen, and the reason why is because growing up, I romanticized about him. He was Scottie Pippen, I
Right.
mean, right alongside Jordan. I didn't even see 1A, 1B. I just
I
saw
got
Scottie
you,
Pippen.
but you gotta understand who had to get Scottie to where he had to be.
No, I agree with that, and that's
Okay.
what the part of the documentary that
But-
really got me was
right.
that even he admitted
you-
that Jordan was hard on him.
Right, because all people understand, like when I used to watch the games, even during the games, you realize sometimes that Jordan was coaching them on the, hey, you need to get on, because Scottie used to play like soft.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I used to watch, I was like, damn, why is Jordan like,
And
you
that's
know,
the funny you said that was the part of the documentary
Right.
when they went up against the Pistons.
right,
The first go round, Jordan said, "If I'm going to win, I need Scottie Pippen," and
Right.
he has always admitted to that.
right,
And he, through, we call it abuse now, but it was called tough love back
Yeah.
then. Through tough love,
Yeah.
he built
That's
up
what he
him and
needed.
Horace Grant.
right,
And there was it. He said he realized that he was going to win when Scottie took the hardest foul and did not complain.
Right.
He said, "We finally made it." So
Right.
he realized that his bread was buttered with Scottie Pippen.
right,
However, it really hurt me because how I view Pippen and how I started looking back at some of his old games and stuff. Pippen really wasn't who
No,
I thought he
he
was.
wasn't. He
And
wasn't.
It hurt me because
That's why.
that's what the Last
Think
Dance
about it. That's
did.
why the Supersonics was quick to let him go, traded for who they traded for. I forgot who they made.
I always used to thought it was Sean Kemp.
No,
but
when
it wasn't
Sean,
Sean
no,
Kemp.
when Sean Kemp.
I used to thought Sean Kemp came later.
No,
But I was like, man, did he get traded for Sean Kemp?
no,
Like,
when Sean Kemp.
was it Devilish Shrimp?
Yeah, I think it's definitely Shrimp. I think definitely
Which
Shrimp.
actually he panned out to be a good
Yeah,
player.
pan out. Yeah, either way. Yeah. So that's why they were willing to let. Like I said, if it wasn't for Krause and Reinsdorf, they kind of saw something in him that they needed.
Right.
And he had. He didn't see it himself. All he knew was
Right.
going to another team. Also, now if he's looking at the whole financial part of it, that's on him as well. Like I
I'm
said,
glad you brought that up because that's what I want to touch on too.
because if you beg for pennies, you ask for pennies, you're gonna get for pennies. If you know,
That's probably the other part of this.
Right.
And I think jealousy is look, I get not everybody can
Right.
be a billionaire.
but keep in mind, even Jordan, if you look at his expression when he said the he held out to get pennies. Basically, that's the look on his face, like damn, fool, you did all this, and you signed for that, and you could have got more.
But on the flip side of it, I think we don't really realize that technically Jordan and Pippen were almost on the same contract. Because in the beginning, it wasn't like Jordan was making money.
No,
And I think that's the problem that I think Scottie sees. He's like, yeah, you signed the worst of the contracts,
right,
but you signed it because, and one thing you said, and you kept adamant about that. That's why I said the documentary heard me is that, you know, you're worried about your back. You signed this contract at what, 89, 90?
right,
And you already worried about your back.
Right.
And I'm like, God, dog, was you really that bad off?
Right.
Or you made bad decisions?
he's made bad decisions. Because Jordan, like I said, at the time, Jordan thought, you know what, I'm making more money off more endorsements than paying basketball.
He
And that was his thing. So, and at the time, he's basically doing it to what Tom Brady did.
You
know
could
what I'm saying?
arguably say that he was Nike
Right.
from a
Right.
long period
Right.
of time.
Now-
he was
Now,
Nike.
the deal he made with Nike was horrible, even though he was making money off Nike. But But
Yeah.
luckily, but
He had his wife.
his wife. Luckily, his wife.
Woo,
Yeah.
boy.
I'm sorry, his ex-wife.
But you know
Ex-wife.
what? I don't.
Right.
I hope he took care of it. He probably did.
He did. She
She's good.
he wrote her a check for like hundreds of $1,000,000, like maybe $200 million.
She really saved
Yeah.
that. But see, and that we're gonna talk about that because I believe because it was some that was brought up when they were talking about Scottie Pippen. It was like his off the court stuff is probably what caught him up because you know him and Future got something in common besides his ex-wife. They both like to make babies.
Well, that's on Scottie Pippen.
And you know, when you start looking, that's why I said this whole thing about the Last Dance, They like, you know who Dennis Rodman was. We
Right.
already know that.
Right.
So the Last Dance only proved that we knew we knew he left. We knew he knew
He was
we
his
knew
own
he
little
read
world.
that.
He was doing his thing.
He
but
owned it.
Trying to play, yeah.
But with Scottie Pippen, it was like a professional. Like you just saw a professional man. Like I thought every game he was there, and come to find out he was pissed at Kukoc. I mean, we heard the stories, but to know to the depths in which he was mad about,
Right.
and then for them to go back through the documentary and say, well, and Kukoc, I love Kukoc. Kukoc don't care nothing at all,
Right.
and he's like, well, I hit plenty of last second shots throughout the season,
Right.
and they just show clip after clip after clip of him doing that. What they did in the documentary was they showed clip after clip of Scottie Pippen failures.
Right.
And I think that's where the problem was, because if you didn't know nothing about Scottie Pippen, that documentary shows you that Scottie Pippen was weak.
Okay. Yeah.
So you agree with that statement?
In a sense, yeah. Because when Jordan left, that was his time to step up. He stepped up to a certain degree, but he didn't own it. I put it that way. He didn't own it. I put it that way.
Okay.
He didn't own it. So and that's what I'm saying. He didn't own it.
It's funny. All right. So we have two versions of Scottie Pippen during that time frame he was gone. We have the team that really did something,
right?
And we have the team that was about to fall apart before Jordan came,
right?
During the time frame that the team was really doing something, do you believe that if Scottie Pippen went back in that game, do you think they would have won that series? Do you think if he actually said, you know what, I don't care who takes the last shot, I'll be the decoy because right now I'm the best player on the team? If he would have stood there and did that, do you believe that they would have won the series?
Played the decoy?
And played the decoy.
Yeah, it'd been a possibility. Because even Jordan, think about when he won ring number,
I know
3. He was the decoy, the Paxson. He said, "Hey, look," and then again with the 6th one, same thing. Hey, you know it's gonna be. I'm gonna be the man.
Right.
The ball's coming to you. Be ready.
Okay. So I agree with you on that, and that goes back to what I'm saying. Like Scottie Pippen, that documentary to me hurt him more,
right?
And I could see why. The problem is because they didn't lie.
And the thing about it is, in a sense, Jordan was selfish, but he was selfless, in a sense. And you understand what I'm getting at?
I get what you're saying.
But Scottie was just selfish, period. Nothing what he did was selfless.
So, in other words, and this is so interesting because
right.
This is interesting topic.
Right.
Being so obsessed with winning actually benefits everybody around you.
It does.
So Michael Jordan's obsession with being the best, obsession with winning, actually elevated all the team.
Yeah, and everybody admitted to that, regardless of how he treated them. Everybody admitted to it. Man, of a jerk a-hole, whatever he was, they knew it was for purpose to win. He wasn't there just to play basketball. He would play basketball and win.
So you believe that everything that Scottie Pippen did, from the migraine, is now, once again, I personally never had a migraine. I know not Adrian Peterson, but Terrell Davis used to have migraines, and he said that it shut him down where he couldn't.
Yeah, I suffered a few myself, and there depends on which, because it varies from person to person. Like for instance, like when I get migraines, my vision gets cloudy, and I can't, and like bright lights kind of blind me, so I gotta just sit still. It's some people, they get that and they get headaches and they get nauseated. Some people just get nauseated. It varies, and some people their equilibrium gets thrown off.
Because that's one of the things that's held against Scottie was during the playoffs. You happen to get a migraine, even though, and one thing I can understand, because Scottie said, Michael Jordan could be condescending. I understand that when people can't see your injuries, of course they're gonna be condescending. It's just a way of life. Like he can't see you having a migraine, and to him, he's like, I know you have a migraine, but just go out there. Because technically, and this is why I say, I have more respect for Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan said the same thing to Scottie Pippen during the migraine that he said to him during the series in The Last Dance when they was going for the 6th title. If you just be out there, that's all I I need you to
Right.
just stand out there. That's all I need you to do. If you stand out there,
Right.
I could do the rest. Actually, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, but Scottie Pippen did contribute.
Right.
But Jordan said, "I don't need you in the locker room."
Right.
And I wonder if that's the part that now when we see that when it comes to Scottie Pippen, we're like, you know what? You really wasn't that dude, because Michael Jordan kind of held your hand.
Yeah.
Because if it was up to you, y'all never would beat the Pistons.
No.
If it was up to you, you would have never guarded Magic Johnson.
No.
So your greatest accomplishments actually came with Michael Jordan pretty much hitting you up on the side of the back end, because that's how I felt. I'm not gonna lie, the Last Dance made me look like get in the game.
Right.
Shake it off. Do you believe, with all that said, that to win you have to be friends?
Ooh, nowadays, in these days and times, the way things people depends on what generation you brought up in.
Okay.
I do it that way. It's more or less how, because it's not that the children or the generation after ours it's like they don't connect the same way as we would.
Okay.
In a sense. Like, if I know we go on the basketball court, I'm gonna talk, hey, I'll cut you out, whatever my son, you get right. whatever. Hey, next I know the next couple goal rounds, you gonna be on it. Right. Like, you gonna be on your, win or lose. Hey, as long as you put the effort for it. But hey, if I know you might be one of them millennials. Lord help me. Lord help me. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Just go sit on the side. I'm good. I'm good. Matter of fact, hey, you with the water. Hey, with the water. Come on, on the water. Come on.
Okay, that's fair.
It's and then because in a sense, like I said, it does based on the era. No, our era. No, you don't necessarily have to be friends, but you know what the goal is. Okay. At the same time, nowadays, yeah, we have the goal. But right now, I gotta be in the right mind frame, in the right mood, and I gotta have the right lighting and the right Gatorade. Okay. And these things, certain factors gotta play into you for you to actually want to contribute to make sure you head in that direction.
Because that's the other thing that came out, because a lot of people, I always thought they were friends. Come to find out, they never.
They used to be in competition for women on the side.
And apparently that's what we're going to go to, because I believe deep down inside, Scottie Pippen has been holding a 40-year, I want to say 40, but 30-year grudge against Michael Jordan. Like, this is a deeper issue, because granted, you don't like the way he was painted in The Last Dance. However, those are your words, and you could have not done it. But
you know what? And I think what it is, he expected for Jordan to drag him along to where he was at. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? But he wanted that, and I think that's because that's how I was reading it when I was watching the documentary. The way he spoke about things, and then the things he spoke about it after the fact, is like that. I think a lot of resentment is, hey, Mike, you would have had these 6 rings if it wouldn't been for me. So why don't you got me going on these yacht trips? Why don't you give me part of your racing teams? Why? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't have my own division in Nike, type deal.
So apparently there's another part of the book that actually shed light to that.
Oh, really?
When Michael Jordan, and I haven't read the book, and I really want to read the book, but these are excerpts from the book. When Michael Jordan's father passed, Scottie Pippen never gave his condolences.
Okay, and I can understand that.
He never gave any condolences at all.
Right.
Ever.
Right. So you know what that means.
That's a F you hard.
Right.
If you never.
Right.
And
because I would look at you the same way. I would look at you the same way. Like I said, every relative that that have passed away, my son, you have been there. Down to my son, you've been there. And I would feel some kind of way if somebody I've been close with, if I hear nothing from you, you'd be like, hey, even if you call, say I'm on my way to Mexico, condolences, whatever. that'd been more in the world as opposed to I ain't hear nothing from you. Hey, no, hey. But you want me to come back and do what? Oh, okay.
That shocked me because
so I didn't know that either, though.
I didn't, but when I thought about it, he wasn't at the funeral. Because when you show pictures of, like, he never spoke about being at the funeral,
right?
In The Last Dance, B.J. Armstrong was there, and a lot of other teammates were there, but he wasn't there. And it never dawned on me until they said, and I guess he wrote like he never gave his condolences or anything like that.
He wrote it in the book.
He wrote it in the book apparently. Oh, okay. So we all know Michael Jordan hold grudges against people he played basketball with in high school.
Right.
Michael Jordan wasn't gonna give you a dime. He wasn't gonna help you. The only thing he did, he did use you. Because at that point he needed something from you. Right. That's all you could do for him was help him.
At that point, right.
I don't know how that just shocked me about Scottie Pippen. Like that part shocked me, and I hope they misquoted him. I hope he drops a statement that says, "You know what? I was wrong for that," but he's not because he's holding it.
But it's too late in the game, though.
God,
that man's dad been dead for 20 plus years now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 30 years now. So there's no, you can apologize for not being in when you're supposed to be, because if anything, you should have been the first one to call Michael.
That's why I said that hurt me, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I really thought y'all, like, you
or you should at least call his mama.
Yeah. Well, apparently
you should, somebody in the family,
And then at the press conference, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there when he retired. You should have been there. That's been standing right behind Michael.
So this
he decided to retire.
So
something.
So now when I look, because I'm gonna rewatch The Last Dance, because actually I like it. It's very interesting. I hope they come out with a part 2. To be honest with you, I know it's like crazy, but it's so much footage that.
But on a side note, okay, you still our props are falling. Okay, now on the side note, did you watch the one about Longley? Because remember they never spoke about him much in the.
Talking about Luke Longley?
He got one. It's on YouTube though. It's pretty good though.
I'll have to watch it.
This is pretty good. It talks about everything. Like it's sort of like The Last Dance. Everything leads up to him getting in the NBA. Playing basketball or whatever.
Because he started late too, playing basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, and then everything after his personal life and everything's up to this present. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it on YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Forget about Luke Longley was
pretty
good.
I was like, because when I watched, like, damn, Luke Longley was on that team. Why did they say anything about Luke Longley?
They
said something about Winnington.
I was surprised Winnington was in it.
Purdue even had a saying in it.
I was surprised about that too.
What's the other player?
Of course, he had Paxson.
Yeah, of course. Kerr.
B.J. Armstrong.
Yeah, Armstrong.
Even Horace Grant. We all know him and Horace Grant do not get down like that.
What is the other guy though? The other white guy, other Caucasian. Being with the B. Bushler.
Oh, Jud Bushler.
Jud Bushler. Yeah. he had like 4 or 5 speaking parts in there. There was no Luke Longley at all. Kukoc even smoking.
Yeah, Kukoc.
They had the security guard had speaking parts in it. The Water Boy. I was like, damn.
You're right. And that's why I said it'd be cool if they did a part 2, because I do believe this. But somebody.
But they said it was due to editing. So he did have some parts in it. It just. Because even Jordan has spoken a piece in it saying, "Oh man, we totally did forget about Luke. Nothing on purpose. It's just that's how ESPN put the documentary together." But his is pretty good as well. So when you get a chance on YouTube, check it out. Luke Longley.
I like Luke. I like Luke.
Yeah, Luke Longley. Yeah, he was unspoken as well. Because we definitely wouldn't have won without him, because he did contribute.
He was the starting center for them team.
Exactly.
And it's crazy because they were talking, and it was like, well, technically, if you really watch the documentary, it really didn't paint Michael Jordan in a good light.
No, it didn't.
But he greenlight.
Yeah,
he let the team.
He wanted to be about the truth.
He let them talk. He said, he let Horace Grant say what he said. He didn't cut that out.
No, he let Isaiah say what he said.
And that was
Gary.
He said. He laughed at
him. I still got a ring.
He literally laughed at Gary Payton.
Yeah,
like how could I? Yeah, let's put it. He's like,
what? Yeah, we say whatever. I still got the ring.
Yeah. It's like when Horace Grant left and it was in Orlando. He said, He looked at that. He said, "Yeah, when they hosted him up there, I said, yeah, that was going to happen again."
Yep.
He made it. And they went 72-10.
Yep.
But see, that's
Man,
I don't look at Michael Jordan as a bully, and it's probably because during that time I grew up during that time.
he was driven.
He was
driven.
And sometimes when you got people like that, you just go along for the ride.
Right.
And I do believe Scottie Pippen benefited the most out of all the Bull players because he was there the whole time.
And the thing about it is he benefited, but he didn't take advantage when he should have.
Okay, that's different. So
Right.
let's talk about that because that's where we talk about we see Michael Jordan as Michael Jordan. Like
Right.
Michael Jordan is not basketball. Michael Jordan is life. Like
okay, I
he's
see
life.
saying, we start saying like that. Okay,
Yeah, he's life. Like when you think about it, yeah, he got 6 rings,
right.
and that helped. But I do believe Michael Jordan would still be life without those rings,
right?
Because his persona was already big. So you brought up, Scottie Pippen didn't take advantage of it. He had a shoe. He had a couple of shoes.
He had a couple of shoes.
One of them I actually like.
Right.
Outside of that, I don't think he did anything else. Like,
because because that season, that should have been his season. He should have been walking on water.
You're right. He
should have been walking on water.
Whether you took that shot or not, that was you had the Bulls in the best position.
Right.
I mean, y'all was even, I think, either 1 or 2 in the East.
Right.
Overall, y'all was overall record was the second best in the league.
Right.
You was the golden child.
Right.
You doing all of this, and you playing the Knicks of all people. You
right.
dunking on Patrick Ewing.
That's right.
And you collapsed.
Exactly.
And I don't think he recovered for that. And Jordan even said he'll never come back from that.
No.
I think mentally he never came back.
No,
from that.
He didn't.
And I think that's the downhill of Scottie Pippen because he realized at that moment I needed Michael Jordan. I think the worst thing that Scottie Pippen did was on national TV when he lifted up the shoe and showed that he was wearing Jordans and asked Jordan to come back.
Right.
I think that destroyed his credibility. Because when you're a child, you think, oh, that's dope. You want your kid, but now we looking at it as a dope. No, that was a weak. Yeah. Everybody in NBA knew you was weak right then and there because your team was struggling.
Right.
And you literally asked him to come back. And what did he do?
He came back.
But
they said he's already practicing off and on at that time before he started fully working his way back into play. But even still, yeah, you're right. You know, hey, you should have been like, hey, Jordan, hey, right now we playing. You were going to come back to my team when you ready. You know,
you could. And then when he came back, you still was the man. Jordan was still off. You should have held everything.
You should have held it down.
But you were so willing to concede to Jordan, which
kept deferring to him. Here you go, buddy. Well, I'm just getting back into shape, Scotty. Hold on.
You know what? Even Jordan even mentioned that, I'm still working, got some cobwebs in me and things like that. Right. But when you start looking at it, Scottie Pippen was so quick to ready to give it back to Jordan.
Right.
So now when I look at Scottie Pippen's legacy, I'm like,
because you know what because you think about it, it's like your boy Kyrie and LeBron. When LeBron came back to Cleveland, everybody singing his praises. Oh, well, no, I was here before he was. But no, he was there before you got drafted. He may have been somewhere else winning championships. He coming back to take back what's his.
Technically, you got drafted because he left.
Right. Basically
you were number one because he left.
Right. You did because he left. So and technically, you're not looking at being in the finals every year because of you. Because how many years he played before? Probably like 2-3 years, right?
Never had a winning season.
Never had a winning season.
If you technically think about it, he never had a winning season, even in college, because he really did not play that season. So.
You broke up then. He broken up now.
So Shannon Sharp saying, if you hurt in college, you always hurt. You're gonna be hurt in the pros.
Right. So he saw, like I said, he sees that and he feels, okay, I should have the same thing. I should have the same notoriety. Hey, when you speak LeBron, my name should be there. But it doesn't work like that. And Scotty feels the same way. And it's like, okay, if it's Kyrie made one of the most spectacular shots in NBA Finals history. Yes. So did Ray Allen. But who was on that team when Ray Allen shot that shot? Okay, LeBron James. Steve
Kerr made a good hell of a shot too. John Paxson made a hell of a shot.
Whose team were they then? Jordan's team. So you putting yourself on your own pedestal when you don't need to. if you, like I told you before, we talked, just wait your turn because LeBron was trying to show you the way.
Right.
He wasn't trying to be your daddy as you claim, like, oh, no daddy.
I have
Slow
a
your roll.
daddy.
Yeah, slow your roll. They weren't trying to be your daddy. He need to beat you like he was your daddy.
It's funny. So
Bro,
that is funny. I like that. He wasn't trying to be your daddy. He really was trying to be your daddy. Nah, basketball. I mean, he was trying to teach him how to win.
And basically, his daddy couldn't teach him how to win in the NBA. His godfather couldn't teach him how to win in the NBA. He could stay on the court, stay on the team.
It's funny. So, side note, I love Kyrie as a basketball player,
right?
But I don't think people realize that Tim Hardaway handles was pretty darn good. Mark Jackson handles was pretty darn good. Mookie Blaylock's handles was pretty darn good. I mean,
Rod Strickland,
his
godfather.
Rod Strickland handles was probably deep, and like Rod Strickland was a pure New York ball. Like he is okay.
What about God Shamgar?
That's not fair. He got to move like the Shell guy. Like he just
right.
Like Tim Hardaway got the crossover.
Right.
Shell guy Iverson just got the. I mean, I didn't even put Iverson in the conversation. God dog, but Shell guy is not fair because for a person that never really panned out in the NBA to be,
he came out too soon.
I do believe that he came out too soon.
He came out in a period where a lot of cats were coming out early because they could, and that didn't make a lot of sense. But let's get back on subject though.
But when I look at Scottie Pippen, because I think before I heard about the book and stuff, I was one of the ones I said,
well they've been talking about the book for the last 6 months,
right? But they didn't say anything about what was in it.
Yeah.
And before that, I was the one saying, Scottie Pippen's career actually probably could have been. It's probably the same as Jordan's career.
It's not.
But hear me out, because this was my argument.
All right, go ahead, what's your argument?
He's done more without Jordan than Jordan has done without him, and that's what I was saying. Because technically, with the Rockets, they didn't make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Portland, they made the playoffs. I mean, we went back to the Bulls. That was just garbage. He was just trying to collect the check. But for the most part, when he was like those Portland teams, really gave them Lakers some. I mean. It really was battling in the West.
Okay. And, that's in the West, though. We're talking about the East.
Right. Okay.
By the East of the time, it was Sixers. It's the Sixers on the back end with Dr. J. Lakers. No, not Lakers. I mean, Knicks. No, I'm sorry. Not the Knicks. Celtics. Damn, Celtics. What's the other team? Celtics. Sixers. I know it's the main two. And then New York was still kind of lagging along. Indiana, in a sense. But yeah, it was mainly always the Lakers, between Lakers and the Sixers at the time. And then, it's always, a few teams that always you got to keep your eye on. But I mean, you mean as far as accomplishments?
Like, I do believe his NBA career, now, as far as, we're not going to say points, because you can't do it at points, but overall career, like Scottie Pippen has achieved a little bit more as far.
So what does he achieve that Jordan hasn't achieved?
Just overall winning. I think as far as winning, but the fairness is the fact that Jordan left for almost 2 years, right. And then he went to the Wizards. So
I mean, Jordan's went all defensive.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not. No. What I'm saying is that I do believe Scottie Pippen's whole career we look at, because a lot of people be like, well, he was not without Jordan.
Much though.
I think he does by himself. He showed that he can be a contributor. I think when he went to the Rockets, that was a bad move.
Right.
And one thing I don't like that Scottie Pippen did was, whether or not this conversation happened between him and Jordan, I don't think he ever should have said that Jordan told him not to go down there to play with Barkley because Barkley's not a winner.
Mm-hmm.
He should have never said that.
Right.
And the reason why is because whatever you're told, and see, back then I'm listening to this, I'm not paying attention. Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, Scottie, you're not trustworthy.
Right.
I mean, whether or not that conversation happened, the fact that you was willing to tell it because you was angry.
Could you think about something else? There's another, this is not even in the documentary, but there was a story that was done some time ago about, the things behind the scenes. like when Jordan was in competition with Scotty, especially when it came to women. I made a comment about women. Well, there was this one point that when Madonna was real big, right? And it's before she got with Dennis. She got with Dennis. She was interested in Scotty. But guess who else was interested in Madonna?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. So he tried. So the minute between the time they were mixing for a little bit of time, Jordan was trying to get in the mix too. It didn't happen. So I think in that story he says the one thing he held over Jordan that he was better that he got over him is that he got at Madonna. And so did probably the other half of the rappers in the NBA or whoever.
Madonna was like the Black Man Trophy back then.
But hey,
she showed up with a Black Man quick.
That's the one trophy that Jordan didn't get.
Okay, fair enough.
So I mean that's so that shows you how petty your boy Scotty can be.
And you know what? Thinking about that now, looking at everything, if he had the same energy that he had now for his career,
oh yeah, he probably could have been right at Jordan's heels.
Even if he had the same energy to take care of himself financially throughout his career. Bad contract aside,
bad contracts, bad business decisions, bad everything.
Yeah, he that bad wife. I wish he had this much energy for Future.
What are we gonna do in the future? I'll smoke him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
he's like he's been hanging out with Future for the last couple of months.
But I just think, but even when I look at it, even with all the stuff in the documentary, Scotty still carved out a career where he was on ESPN, and people valued his opinion.
Right.
I wonder now, has he thrown all his credibility out the window?
Yeah. Because, like I said, this is from a position of pettiness. If you're not, and I say you gotta be grateful, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind that you had your chance for you to have your team. You asked for the man to come back and play. You basically gave the team back to him.
He did. Yeah. Okay.
That's like if, hey, you give me your house, I stay in your house, and all of a sudden, you come back and, oh, here you go, and just
right.
Not that, hey, we'll transition. Hey, you take this room, take this room. I just, hey, you just have it all back to you, bro.
I agree.
So, I mean, okay. I mean, yeah, it's just, he waited too late to look at him the way he should have been looking at himself while he was playing. And that's what it is. You think about it, he thinks back on it, damn, I had my opportunity. And, what I'm saying? Because Jordan didn't hold him back. Jordan never held him back. That's one thing Jordan never did to teammates. He never held him back.
That's true. I do agree with that.
That's one thing I can say about it. Yes, he demanded the ball, but he never hold. When he knew it was their moment, their time, he never got in their way.
Okay, that's fair. I will agree with that. For the most part, Jordan has always, because he wanted to win and any means necessary.
Right.
So, yeah, I do agree with that.
Because think about it. That was Kukoč's moment. The play was going to end up in his hands. What were you going to do? Because if anything, the play probably started with you and ended with him.
Yeah.
But they had to refigure the play because you didn't want to go out there because you felt that you should have had the last shot.
And looking back at it and realizing, yeah, Kukoč was hitting those shots. Like, he really was in. I mean, Kukoč, it wasn't like Kukoč transitioned great into the NBA, but he fit that system.
Right.
And that was his moment. That was a perfect moment.
Right.
See, and once again, we romanticize when everybody's shooting threes, but back then, that was the cue for the white boy. That was his position. JJ Redick made a great career out of being that guy before it became popular. You got to think about it. Like, Steve Kerr would never made the NBA if it wasn't for a three-point shot. John Paxson wouldn't have lasted so long.
No, he would have had a career in the
NBA. They would have.
Because you think about it, he won a ring with the Bulls.
The Spurs, I actually come to find out
he
got 7.
Yeah,
he got I think he got between 5 and 7 rings. Yeah. Like Dennis got 5.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about that a little bit about the ring situation.
Okay.
But so the NBA posted 75 years and a 75-year team.
Oh yeah.
They left out a couple of people.
What did they leave out?
One of them is Dwight Howard.
What?
But they have Anthony Davis on there. I understand Westbrook.
Maybe that's why they
however,
got in a fight on the sideline. They got an
I do believe
argument.
that. I do believe that. I think the White House feels disrespected.
Right.
So this is what I'm noticing about NBA circles now. Once they feel like once you get into where they how can I put it? They're very disrespectful to each other.
Right.
I'm just plain and simple.
Right.
Like, and I do believe that him not being on that team has pretty much lost his credibility because he achieved a lot.
Yeah.
Despite how you feel about the last 5-6 years of Dwight Howard, like Dwight Howard has all been multiple defensive player of the year. He's been to the finals. He does have a ring. He's been all defensive team. He's been an all-star multiple times. And a lot of people was like, well, Carmelo made the team, but Dwight Howard's resume is a little bit better. Outside of points with Carmelo,
right?
Dwight Howard actually has a better resume. Anthony Davis got points. Dwight Howard resume is a little better. So a lot of people like, and Westbrook's interested because he is Mr. Triple Double. However, I think it was too soon for him to be in.
It is
in all.
It anything. Is. It is.
So, do you think the NBA is just trying to appeal to people?
It's
now?
A popularity contest.
Okay,
that's basically all that is. Because you think about it, was Shawn Kemp on the list?
Oh my God, I love the Rain Man. I wish he was. You know who else wasn't on the list?
Who was on the list?
Reggie Miller has not made
exactly.
It. Reggie Miller,
right?
The only man in NBA history that could score 50 points in 10 seconds.
Right.
Like, I saw Reggie Miller do the impossible. And I know a lot of people like to discredit him because they're like, well, if you really look at it, he only had special moments, but he had moments in the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at how he and the Knicks went, even if you look at how him and Michael Jordan went at each other, Reggie Miller, only knock on Reggie Miller is the fact that he never had the teams that you could say, not saying that those teams wasn't good, like he had good pieces,
right?
But he never had a team that really was built to win it all. He had teams that were built to win,
right?
Because Reggie Miller never shot from the last shot,
right?
I mean, he had the last shot. You could honestly say Reggie Miller was probably a thin version of Larry Bird. He was probably more resemblant to Larry Bird than anybody else, because both of them played the small forward position. Both of them athletically wasn't gifted, but they can shoot and manipulate the court.
Right.
How you not have him on the team? Like, how you put Westbrook ahead of Reggie? And Reggie Miller was like, you can't even speak. Michael Jordan says it himself. Reggie Miller, I did not like.
Yeah.
Joe Dumars guarded me hard.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen is a. I mean, these are the words that come out of his mouth. So if he names people personally,
right,
how they not make the team?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that didn't make sense to me. I was like, oh,
Vince Carter.
They talked about that too.
Yeah.
Like, would you have put Vince Carter, even Tracy McGrady? A lot of people said Tracy McGrady was good, but his sample size was small. Like, he had like maybe a good 5 or 6 years from Orlando to Houston. Then, of course, he had the knees and things like that. Now, Vince Carter is interesting too.
Yeah.
Because Vince Carter, you could arguably say that between him and Allen Iverson, they ushered in the new wave. Like, Vince Carter, half man, half amazing.
Yeah.
Mr. Toronto, Air Canada himself. I mean, he had a franchise on his back, and I mean, he made playoffs. Yeah. They all-star teams. He won dunk contests.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not understanding.
Robert Parrish went on the list, man.
The
Chief.
He was the anchor in them Celtics.
Yeah.
People don't really. He looked old his whole life, and he moved old his whole life. Yeah. But he held the center position down for them Celtic teams.
And the Bulls.
Yeah.
Bulls. Oh.
So it's interesting because we could think of these players, and it's like, wait a second, there were players that could have made it, even if you shorten it the way that you did. Now, out of everybody, I think the person that should be the most upset is Reggie Miller.
Yeah, that was a problem.
And from my understanding, he's not.
Mm.
And I wonder, is it because he's secure in what he has
That's what
accomplished?
it could be, because some people are. Some people, it's for them to. If you think about it, it's not the Hall of Fame though.
True.
So it's not like, yeah, it's kind of sense of disrespect, but at the same time, but like, he's a Hall of Famer. So I mean, you can't take that from him.
That's true. He earned that.
Right.
Yeah, he is Hall of Fame, even though
Right.
His sister did this.
Right.
Cheryl, they say Cheryl was the better Miller, but a lot of people didn't get to see her play. How do you feel about how the NBA is moving now, as far as the way they're marketing? Because a lot of people are now looking at it like there's no. It's more like AAU.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, hey, if we play together, let's hook up to play together. Do you think that they should start getting rid of the draft? Because as right now, we're looking at Ben Simmons.
So how would you? Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
glad-
Go ahead. So, yeah,
I'm gonna answer that one
Yeah,
because
you got my question, but go ahead and say what you're saying.
So Dwayne Wade's letting his son go to the G League.
Yeah.
Well, he got the money to do that, so
Yeah.
he got the money to do that. But what's the interesting part about it is, remember Brandon Jennings went overseas to play.
Mm-hmm.
These teams hold open courts.
Right, they do.
If you a top player, would it behoove you to not enter the draft and just go to an open court and just sign to a team?
But I got an answer for that. You want an answer?
Yeah.
You know what a lot of people, they romanticize, like you say,
right?
That whole thing of being in the draft, being in New York, or whether they do the draft this year, they do it.
Is it still in New York?
No, I think it's that. I think they switch it. No, the NFL changes it, switches it up now. I think it's still New York or Barclays, one of the two. They fall into the romantic side of, oh, okay, you doing the they do a combine? Yeah, do the combine. Mm-hmm. People check you out, you playing ball, but you can do the same thing. Like you said, you just go and do the open tryouts. But like I said, they fall, get these agents tell, well, yeah, possibility, just to get them signed, just to sign them. Because a lot of people, they put, oh yeah, you could be first round draft pick, such and such, That's what a lot of people, they fall in love with the headlines, the possibility of being a headliner, being that draft pick, or being the turnaround person of a franchise, and you got to remember, what's the success rate?
Slim now. It's getting worse.
And what's the percentage they say is 1%?
Because players are playing longer now.
Yeah, 1%. It might be less than that.
Yeah.
So you think about it, you might have a better chance being in the service than you would have to be in the NBA.
That's true.
A better chance in the service than you would in the NBA.
The reason why I bring it up is because Puma just signed a 17-year-old.
Right.
And we're seeing in college football right now, because it's college football season, so that there actually been cases of players becoming millionaires already just off of their likeness in college.
Right.
So if I'm already at a point where I'm now can make money off myself and I can command these things now, do I really need to go to college? I have my own rebuttal. I'm always say yes, because there's more to college than just playing basketball. But
my thing is, go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Football may be the only one, I think, because they do have an age limit.
Right.
Basketball, do I really need college? Yeah. Do I really need to?
I do. I feel any person, they need to, and I'm gonna stop you there.
Okay.
For one, people understand you can go to college, learn things, not in class, but things on social skills.
Right. I do agree.
Time management.
I do agree.
And how to be a better individual.
Right.
As opposed to, you think about it, you don't learn them things. You kind of learn them in high school, but you really don't learn them in high school. But you take the time and you can grow into the person that you ought to be.
That's if you say 2 years.
Right.
I got something for you. We're seeing it right now with two players.
I think they should get rid of that early.
Now, okay.
I think that should be done. No more.
I think they are,
right.
And it's not because of Kwame Brown. I think it's going to be because of two players in because Kwame Brown think that they try to get rid because of him, and it's not because of him. So actually going to be two players
Go
right
ahead.
now, and it's going to be Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson.
Okay.
And the reason why is because both of them have not matured.
Right, and that's my thing. Overall maturity.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
They have not matured, and
You-
they're looking at it.
right.
And both of them, I'm gonna be honest with you, neither one of them went to class because
Right.
they were only there for the season, and
Right.
all you have to do is be enrolled. Both
Right.
of them knew they was gonna go pro,
Right.
and everything. The problem is that they never had adversity. So now, all of a sudden, they're in that adversity.
Like I said, you learn life skills in college. People, because you're on your own. You basically, regardless if you got teammates and professors and all that. No, you've got to figure out how to manage your time. You've got to figure out the kind of circles you want to, kind of person you want to be around, kind of people you want to be around. You got to figure out the right things to eat.
Right.
Not only just to play basketball, but hey, to make sure you're able to function throughout the day while you're supposed to be in class. You know.
So I'm with you. I think they should put like football now. And I'm against that. I'm like, no. But this time I think so because you can make money off your likeness.
Right.
Since now that you can make money off your likeness,
why you leaving early?
You don't have to leave early.
Right.
And I think a lot of players we're seeing now because for every Kevin Durant, you have a whole bunch of other people that did not look.
You have a Greg Oden.
You have Greg Oden. Or even Kyrie, we could put him in that camp because he.
And somebody did mention him. You think he mentioned?
Yeah, I told him technically he's a bust.
Yeah,
he really is and I know people don't.
He's gonna be the most expensive bust.
He is gonna be the most expensive bust in history because if you rely on a shot as your career highlight in a span of 10 years that you've been in, that's a bust.
I got you.
And a lot of people be like, well, no, he made this much money, did all this, he averaged this many points. Overall, Kyrie career is a bust because when he was the man, he failed at every.
He didn't make an impact.
No,
he didn't impact.
Because when he needs somebody to be. Once again, if you want to be the man, you don't hook up with the bigger man, which is Kevin Durant.
Right.
You went from LeBron James to Kevin Durant. That's literally what you did.
Right.
Two bigger players who can put you in position to make your shot.
Right.
So that lets you know who you are. But I think they should. I would go back because if you can make money off your likeness now, which means that you could potentially become a millionaire in college, then it's overall learning the game, overall learning life skills and how to manage your money. I do think you need to stay in the NBA. I mean, you need to stay in college. So I do agree because I look at the Charlotte team right now, outside of LaMelo, which he had the perfect situation because his father loved him.
Right. Right.
He loved him.
I agree.
Lonzo loved his brother, loved like the father was.
That's one thing I can say about that man. Yeah.
So I
don't be like that, but I hope to be anything close to that when my kids step on this earth. All jokes aside.
And I think he doesn't get enough credit to put all three of his kids in a position to win. Like that's pretty darn good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we don't speak, especially in our community, we don't really give him that prop. So outside of him, when I look at the Charlotte team, they do dumb things because they all came out early.
Yeah.
And now, when you look at like RJ Barrett's just now panning out, but this would have been his third year in college, just like Zion. And we're seeing Zion look like he about to eat his way out the league. You got Charles Barkley making fun of you.
Can you say tractor trailer, y'all? No. I got tractor trailer was one of my favorite players.
I like, but he could move. He could move. People don't realize that.
But he was never injured like him, though. He was never injured.
And that's what scares me about Zion. Is like you look big and you're injury prone.
Right.
Like your whole game is based off explosive. Like Charles Barkley and you got almost was the same size, but Charles Barkley.
His physical therapy was at Popeye's Chicken. That's where it was.
It looked like he just said, "Put it in my vein." Like he looked like he ate everything. Like, hey, you want a salad? No.
We go to Bourbon Street. Yo, let me get 20 beignets.
And nobody stopped him. And that's the thing. I think
let me get a bucket of gumbo, y'all.
And that's what college teaches you how to pick people.
Right, exactly.
If you had some real people that really gave a damn about you, they would have said, "Step away from the food."
He don't have nobody. He don't have people manage him correctly, And I thought that was his parents. His parents would be doing. They're managing his money.
Yeah.
No, you need to be managing him. You need to sit down and have that talk with him. Like, hey, son, hold on, stop. You need to go and get to that buffet, eat nothing but salad, exactly. And drink you some water. If you need some flavor in that water, squeeze a lemon.
Exactly. Like
You know,
you
that's
got
what you
sometimes
be
you gotta
doing.
save people from themselves.
Right.
And that's why, when I was thinking about it, when I look at it now, like with Ben Simmons, I get it. Yeah, Doc Rivers talk trash about you.
But-
Joel Embiid talk trash about you.
You talk trash to everybody.
Exactly. So talk trash back too.
Right.
You
Be a
can't
man
speak
up.
perfect English,
Man
Joel.
up.
I
Man
mean,
up.
got porn stars making fun of you. I would have been what? My
Yeah.
girl look better than yours. I mean, I would have just went back at him.
But you know what happened? Nobody sat them down and talked to them and showed them how to be men.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's what it is. There they saw, ooh, talented basketball player. He gonna be in the NBA. But nobody actually taught him as he was going along, showing them life skills, how to handle yourself, how you need to, take care of yourself, how to sit there, speak up, stand. No, dude, because let me put it this way: when he was in, how has been in the league?
He's been in the league for 4 years.
4 years, okay. So
He's
5 years ago,
100
5 years ago. Let me back up. 5 years ago, LSU was playing in the Charleston Classic. On the college,
they got kicked out of. They got beat.
They got ran off the court.
Yeah.
By I forgot the team they played,
Yeah.
but the team was they could have beat the team.
that.
You know why? Because he thought he was the man. His teammates did not care for him.
Yeah.
That's why he's not a team player, and that's another thing. That's also his problem. He's not a team player. That's his problem. He feels that okay, they paid all that money to keep me on the team. They let Jimmy Butler go because I said so.
Dumb.
Which was dumb because Jimmy was the man.
Jimmy Bucket.
Like what? I was trying to figure you let Jimmy go to keep him?
Minnesota did the same thing. Like, well, y'all ain't won since. God,
that's what I'm saying. Mind you, and people and let's get off subject though, but people don't understand. Jimmy Buckets was undrafted. You think about it. He was undrafted. He worked his way to become one of the spoken of players. When they speak his name, they speak it with respect. Like like they don't. Hey, they know when Jimmy's on the court, Jimmy come to play, not play, not joke play. He came to play.
Exactly.
That's what he got to understand, and that's what they don't understand on them teams. Like, hey, no, he didn't come here to play. No, dog, because he worked to get to where he was at, to get the money he's making, to get that notoriety whenever he steps on the court, when people cheer or boo him.
He also, I think he stayed 3 years in college.
I think he did 3 years. I think it's 3-4 years in college. But even still, and I think that's the issue. Same thing with Zion. It's like you wasting away. You wasting away. You wasting away, and that's not good. Your talent is going, because after a while, this is your third year?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Third year.
Because his first year he was
hurt. He didn't play till almost the middle of the season.
Yeah, that's right. And they were talking about actually holding him out like they did Ben Simmons.
Right.
Like they did Joel Embiid.
Right. But they figured out how to manage Joel Embiid to make sure it even still, when he stepped on the court, he contributed.
Yeah.
He didn't take away from. Your boy down in New Orleans thinking, okay, it's about me. This is how I'm gonna go about my business. Regardless, when I'm good to go, they're gonna put me in the court. But at the same time, they're gonna sit there and tell you, hey son, you might need to lose some weight. You need to trim down. You might get on a treadmill. You might need to throw on a couple of them fat suits and walk around New Orleans in the heat.
Call me. I'll come down there. I'll work out with you, man. We'll work out together.
You work out with Zion?
I'll work out with Zion.
Right.
I'll work out with Zion.
You and him be sitting on Bourbon Street over at eating beignets. Okay. Yeah, we working out, drinking in between. You gonna drink cocoa, you gonna drink coffee with yours?
Well, I want a cocoa because I can't. I'm not doing coffee.
Okay, it's good. It's good. I decided to do. That's how I did mine when it was good. It was on point. It's good. Yeah, go get y'all a little. Oh, sorry, you don't need pork anymore, right?
Not anymore.
So that's right. You can get you some gumbo. So you gotta,
So
that's even better, huh?
Don't do chicken gumbo.
You go down there for some chicken gumbo, okay? All right, you do that. Let me know how that turns out.
They'll do no vegan gumbo.
Vegan gumbo. They probably do. They probably do. You just gotta probably look for it. But all right,
I taste the same.
Yeah, you be like, huh? What you know where you at, right?
Yeah.
This ain't California.
But,
No, man, but yeah, it's just this is what it is. Is that these kids are being they feel that okay, they're not privileged. What's the other word? They're entitled.
Entitled.
They feel they're entitled to be treated with such respect or such authority.
Okay,
if that makes
agree.
sense.
No, I agree with that because
I'm Ben Simmons, I'm Zion Williams, #1 draft pick, first round draft pick. You know what? You're gonna listen to me.
You know what else I found interesting?
And I don't feel comfortable because I'm not in my right mind right now to play basketball because my feelings were hurt.
That you making $100 million to play a sport.
Okay.
And you're telling me you're feeling, and I don't like this because I think the narrative, because if you say something about it, people be like, oh, you shouldn't say nothing because you don't know what people be going through. I'm telling you like this. If that made him sad, then he can't live a regular life.
No, you're not, because like I said, he centers himself in the world, around the world. Like I said, the words he felt everything surrounded it's about him. Like he said, he felt, the team would come begging and they did the right thing. Okay, you don't feel like playing? Okay, we'll find you. Okay. Oh, now you want to come? Oh, now you want to half step it here practice? You know what? Don't play tomorrow. You know what? Oh, now you're sorry you won't be part of the team. Oh, now you're not. You know what? Go get your mind right, and then let us know when you're ready to play basketball, and then we'll think about letting you be on the court.
Get your mind right, like God.
So he's on the verge of going where though? Where do you think he's gonna go?
Oh, they're gonna send him to Siberia.
Okay. Shanghai Dragons.
Yo, I know. They talk about this. How if they feel like a player is really disgruntled, they'll
say what's up to DJ Michi Meech in your voiceover.
They'll send. They likely to send him to Minnesota. Like they're likely to send him to Orlando. Like at this point, they will send him to a garbage situation. Like because he has too many years left on his deal, and it's like really, or they may actually buy him out, cut their losses.
They could do that.
The thing is, Ben Simmons won't recover. Like, and when I say recover, not about the money, his career won't recover because he has a stigma on him.
But he had the stigma. People had a stigma on him in college.
True.
That's why they never won.
But now it's really elevated because now it's like.
If you think about it, he was on a team. His team was ranked that year highly. How you go from ranked to unranked?
Well, yeah. I mean, they lost horrible games.
Okay, so you think about it. You the man. So I see you had the rest of the players weren't as good, but at the same time, you don't drop off.
At least Zion had us, up there. We knew he was one and done, but at least he had us up there. But yeah, RJ Barrett, which by the way, he's panning out to be very good himself.
That man deflated his shoes on the court, playing them Kyrie's, man. Damn.
That should tell you need to lose weight. If you do a move,
blew tight on the court.
Then you like, you know what? This is an eye-opening experience. For moving forward, I will be 200 pounds.
Yo.
I will cry that day. I'm like, all right, no, that's like ripping.
I don't think he hurt himself. He was just too embarrassed to stay on the court. He played like he was hurt.
It's like ripping your pants like it's over. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and lose some weight.
Yeah, there's an ankle. Oh, no. You were wrong with your ankle.
But yeah, I do agree.
Oh, give me a cheeseburger.
I agree that they need to do something because right now a lot of these kids don't have social skills, and it's funny because we talk about how they make more money now. They have a lot of stuff handed to them, and they are in the best shape that anybody ever been.
I don't know about that.
I do. As far as health, they're in a better shape than probably people before them, except for a few, like I think Alonzo Moore, and of course Jordan never missed a game, which is unheard of now. But when I look at them socially, they're the most awkward sports stars I've seen in my 41 years on this earth.
Damn.
If you really think about it, like sports stars used to have some charisma about them.
Yeah. But
they don't, man.
But you think about it nowadays, what you used to have is media trainers though. Even at college, they used to have people, but now they
True.
don't. Now they feel that the media is we got here, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Black Planet.
Tom.
Tom was your friend too.
Tom.
Tom was everybody's friend.
We're looking for you, Tom.
So-
Reach out.
So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's now like we talked previously. We can't speak because but in our previous conversation, like I said, it's the generations are different because their social skills is done virtually. Whether it's through text message, online streaming,
Yeah.
whatever. It's not that, hey, we're gonna meet here, we're gonna hang out. Oh, we'll just hang out online, play video games.
Or they and with each other and they're texting each
Right.
other.
In the same room.
Yeah. I actually seen that.
Yeah.
That scared me.
It is.
Like, why don't you just talk to the person?
Now, and like I said, and the thing I discussed with you about what Facebook is going to now, the whole metaverse thing. Oh, it's about to get worse. People, nobody gonna be outside. Everybody be living in their virtual universe. I don't know. I'll be outside, walking around. They wait for everybody. See what everybody else is doing. Because you could pretty much Kevin Garnett can sit there, set up his own universe where everybody just worships him. They say he's the greatest person in the world, and he can invite you in, and what I'm saying, and then but you gotta come down and bow to him, kiss his feet too. The whole, it's just that's what it is. He done won 10 rings. He's beaten LeBron several times.
Oh yeah. Oh, LeBron.
No, LeBron turns into a bust in his world. Like LeBron just totally sucks.
That would be his world.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that sort of thing. Kyrie be the same thing. Like, he just became the greatest player ever. Won 18 rings. Matter of fact, he got his own shoe. Matter of fact, he took over Jordan and became Kyrie. He got an honorary doctorate degree from Duke. I mean, is this how is this going to be?
You know what? It's funny because we talked about Surrogate, the movie.
Yeah.
There's this one scene that always had me where when in the virtual world it was a beautiful woman,
right?
But in reality, it was a fat man.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Or remembering Gamer.
Oh God, yeah. That's what we going to, man.
So I mean, it's like the world's coming so out of touch with itself, and at the same thing with these players is so out of touch with their own reality. Like, wait a minute, dog, you got 2 legs, 2 hands, a couple eyes, and a mouth and a neck. You a basketball player, man. Play basketball. That's what you get paid to do. That's cool for be the social stars, and you want to have a brand. That's cool, man. But overall, you're being recognized for playing basketball. You know.
It's funny because that's one thing I don't think we really give Jordan credit. Like, Jordan never worried about being a brand
because he let his game speak for it.
Tom Brady never worried about being.
He let his game speak for it,
and they're sitting on rings,
right?
And arguably, like I said, Jordan is life. The man ain't touched a basketball since what 2003.
And he's still the most influential person in sports in the world.
And he sells shoes.
Right.
And life.
Right.
It's awesome.
And I don't think anybody's ever going to get to that.
No, you can't.
LeBron's going to come close, but he's never going to get to where.
I don't even think it's fair because LeBron
had
more given to him. Like Michael Jordan did that without no social media. Like all you had was commercials. Like literally, all you had was commercials and your game. All you had was commercials and your game. Like we seen like Bo Jackson get a shoe, but Bo Jackson had game. Even though he had a short career, Bo Jackson had game.
Yeah, but he was a phenomenal athlete.
He was. Deion Sanders, he had game and he got a shoe.
But those things, but you get what you're saying. Their game warranted the things they were awarded.
And that's why I'm looking at.
And I think about it. Outside of Jordan, what player has actually played their way into their own shoe?
None. because every player after Jordan signed a deal either on draft night or after. So Kobe got his deal on draft night.
Right.
They already LeBron had a bidding war in high school.
And that's right. And everything, like I said, everything was based on their potential.
Right. Jordan literally was the last one because after Jordan, that's when they started realizing shoes could be sold. So they were just going like, oh, okay. Yeah, of course, most people got it because of their performance, but it was easier to give them off 1 to 2 year performances.
Right.
Like Jordan had.
Like, because everybody thought Jordan had a shoe. No, he had the Nike Airship. Then came the Jordan shoe itself. So he actually had to play in that shoe before he actually got his official shoe.
Right.
But even still, he played 3 years in college.
He did.
He played 3 years in college. Then he came into the league. So yeah, he already was looking for endorsement deals based on his potential. He decided to sign with Nike, but what he agreed to, but then he didn't get his official shoe until the second year.
Right.
Late his first season into second year.
Right.
So,
So now we get to the end, and this is what I want to talk about rings.
Okay.
So we had this debate back and forth, like who's the greatest basketball player.
All right, let's go.
You say Jordan.
Yeah.
And this is not this.
But I'm gonna tell you. But I always tell you why.
Right. Yeah.
His impact is what makes him the greatest.
So this is where I'm gonna say, okay.
Now, if you do it based on rings, you'll probably win that argument. Would you go ahead and go forward? Though.
Well. Of course, I say Magic because I think Magic had a more overall impact.
But he only has 5 rings, though.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
When you look at rings, the man who owns the rings,
Bill Russell.
Exactly. He owns the rings.
Okay.
So why he's never in the greatest conversation?
Because I tell you, like I said, it goes back to impact on the league from not as a whole, but from which he stood and to the point after him when he leaves the league. You know what I'm saying?
But the MVP trophy is his trophy. It's named after him. He hands it to people.
But they just named that, put that in his name a couple years ago.
True, but he hands it to people.
That's
like Jerry West's logo.
They didn't change that until was it the year of or just before the year the Celtics won that last ring.
Okay.
To that ring. Keep in mind. I mean, I understand you got a very valid point. Why, like I said, it goes back to how his impact.
With that said, should we take rings out of the conversation? And
you can, because in a sense, if you know your basketball history, he would be spoken of because he was one of the greatest defensive players in the game,
right?
Ever. Even though he wasn't a center in a sense, but he played the center position,
right?
As a matter of fact, he's more like Alonzo Mourning.
No, yeah. You would say that him and Alonzo actually because they were undersized,
right? For the position,
yeah,
they played to get the position very well.
Because the knock on Bill Russell has always been he was surrounded by Hall of Famers, which I think is not fair.
No,
because that's not his fault. Because that's the knock on Magic. Like
you same thing about Magic. Yeah, Magic.
That's his knock, Magic. Right. Because he had Kareem and things. He had the oldest Kareem version ever, but still was a good version. But he had the oldest Kareem version ever, and that's not fair. And that's why I said, okay, if we remove rings out of it, and we stick to like actual. If you say impact, I'll keep impact in there. So if we take impact, like overall impact on it, I still will rank Magic above Jordan. And I would say it like this. I say 1A, 1B, and they could flip-flop.
I'll let you have that. Cause I'm going to tell you why. Impact, what I mean is when they say on draft day, you a guard. You 6'3".
Right.
You wish you were 6'3". You know what I'm saying? So you 6'4", 6'5", 6, 6'4", 6'6". Mind. Stay in your mind. Okay. So, and you got a good hand, a good game. You got a ferocious jump shot. You fly through the air.
Right.
You have who they gonna compare you to first? First they compare you to is who?
Jordan.
Exactly. Every time. Regardless of what has it been so far, they going to compare your possible impact to who? as a guard.
Jordan.
Jordan.
Especially if you come from North Carolina.
Especially, yeah. Say you went to North Carolina, and overall, you went to North Carolina.
And that's what I will say.
May he rest in peace. You played under Dean Smith.
Yeah, you either gonna be compared to Jordan if you was a guard or James Worthy if you was a forward to center, because those were the two pillars of the pro. Yeah, so okay, that's fair. Right. If you're a guard, I mean, we could go the list.
Your expected potential impact is that, and that's what I mean. Like nobody, you a guard.
You think you're Oladipo? I'll be. Oh, he's just like Jordan.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean.
Give you that. Yeah. So
from this, now mind you, the last game he played was when 2003. You said. Yeah. 18 years later.
Matter of fact, do you remember we saw his last All-Star game?
I remember we saw his last All-Star.
Sick as a dog. We was in that place on Fort Bragg, that
sports something.
Yeah, we was eating hot weed.
yeah, that was fun time. Bro.
And that was his last All-Star game. That was pretty dope. But okay, so see, this is why I said it's a hard conversation. And I don't think it's a fair conversation.
No, it's not. Because a lot of people didn't grow up watching Bill Russell or Dr. J
or even Michael
Jordan.
But one thing I will say is, if I say Michael Jordan's the greatest overall talent basketball I have seen, because he transcended basketball.
Right.
That's why I say it's not fair, because if you take away the shoes, would it be even?
No, it still wouldn't be, because he still would have transcended the game.
And that's the crazy part about it. So
it just so happens, like I tell you, it just so happens that it worked. It just think about it, because you think about it. Tim Duncan's had a shoe, a couple of shoes with Nike and Adidas. Yeah. Kevin Garnett had shoes with Nike and Adidas.
Even David Robinson
had a Nike shoe. Dennis Rodman had Nike shoes.
He did too. He had Converses too.
But always, who's going to be the number one shoe, no matter if it's part of Nike or not? The Jordan shoe. That's Jordan. Jordan impacted, like you said, he transcended not only basketball but the world as a whole.
Okay, so
he was selling Gatorade. This man sold underwear. I know. He sold underwear. Hanes underwear. Yeah, I bought Hanes because he was in the Jordan. Because he was a commercial Hanes, bitch.
No, I agree, and that's why I said it's a hard conversation, because Magic Johnson can't sell shoes.
Would you buy
overall business-wise? Magic is a genius now.
Now, if he was selling Geritol, you know what I'm saying? I might get some Geritol, but I don't need Geritol.
I mean, off the court, I think, and that's where I'm like, those two probably went down as the greatest, and it's not fair, because statistically, except for I think Magic is number 1 or number 2 in assists. But statistically, as far as stats are all across the board, neither one of them, except for Magic, I think, as far as assists, are they're in the conversation, but they're not number one.
But in a sense, like you said, it's in my thing. That's what I look at is the impact on the game. Because even like you said, even Magic, because either way, when they look at a forward that has a good handle. That can pass. Pass
Steve Smith,
Scottie
Pippen,
even
LeBron James,
exactly. So, I can give you that, And then, like I said, when they do look at centers, who you compare them to?
Yeah, you do compare the centers to either not actually. Shaq is probably the biggest.
Shaq would be the main one.
Yeah, and then you. Actually, I would thought Patrick Ewing. A lot of people don't compare people to Patrick Ewing.
No, because they don't want centers shooting like that.
Yeah, true.
They either want them to inside scoring or defense.
Yeah, so Shaq and I would say actually David Robinson gets some love on that on there.
Now that's who I would think if he had a jump shot. That's who your boy could have been, Dwight Howard. That's who he could have been.
Okay, fair.
If he actually worked on his outside game, like
I can see that.
If he could have worked on an 18-footer jumper,
Hakeem. That's the main center a lot of people get compared to Hakeem because of the footwork.
But a lot of centers don't have that footwork.
Nah, that's all.
Joel has the footwork.
He does. He's the closest.
Yeah, he's the closest.
I still think Andrew Bynum could have been the best center of all time. You have to. You know what? Y'all don't remember. Kobe Bryant.
that whack job.
Kobe Bryant.
Same
got
guy that
the-
sat on and blew his hair. I just sat there looking crazy as hell.
Kobe Bryant got the best out of everybody except Smush Parker.
Okay.
I'll never
What
forget.
happened with that? Why did he get the best out of Smush Parker?
All I know is Kobe Bryant said, "I'm leaving because all you got me was Smush Parker." And Smush Parker, but when Kobe passed away, Smush Parker gave nice words, but
Yeah.
Kobe hated you. Like you was like Kobe was about to leave the Lakers because he said Smush Parker.
Man, yeah.
But he did. He like Jordan, he got the best out of all his teammates to include Shaq. And I think Shaq could have probably been the best. Shaq probably could have been the best player of all time if
He could have. He applied himself.
He applied
He
himself.
worked out like he should have.
Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah.
Like he's really weird. Like when I really think about Shaq and everything with Shaq,
But I think he didn't. Like I tell people,
you don't think
I don't think he loved the game like that.
Honestly, he did. I can say you're right because he had too many outside interests. It gave him the opportunity to do other things.
Right. Kobe loved the game. That's the thing people understand. Kobe loved playing basketball. Kobe loved basketball. Kobe said one time he wasn't the best player on his team, but he worked hard at it to be the best player on his team.
He got Eddie Jones traded.
Yeah.
And Eddie Jones used to help him when he was at Temple because he's a Philly kid.
Right.
That shows you how dedicated Kobe was. Your own
Kobe loved basketball.
You know what? But Kobe and Jordan probably, I'll say it like this. Outside of everybody that I've seen in my years of actually watching basketball, those are the only two people I can say love basketball. I think everybody else, it was a means to an end.
They love what basketball brought them, but
Right.
yeah, but no, they love
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah, and I think that's why Jordan didn't go after the money he should have been paid until late in his career.
Right.
You know, same thing with Tom Brady. He loved the game. But when it came time, like, yo, hold up. Y'all be getting over. Y'all need to come up with some money.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all owe me, but just give me this and we be good.
You couldn't even give him that.
Y'all couldn't give him that. Y'all couldn't pay that man till he's 45. Oh, the man wanted $50 million.
You could stretch that $50 million.
That's what I'm saying. You know, because on the back end, he got more. He made more on the back end.
That's
you know,
true.
Hey, remember the time you won on rings? Guess what? I want a consultant job as with y'all. Oh, but I'll be here on these days only.
Yeah.
So Monday and Tuesday. Every other day, I'll be playing golf somewhere, or I'll be with Giselle.
Yeah.
Laid up. On vacation.
That's what I.
Oh, but when Super Bowl come, I'll be there that week because I gotta be Tom Brady. Some playoffs, I'll be around because you're gonna need
Tom Brady.
You're gonna need Tom Brady.
Now wear all the rings.
That's right. I wear the rings. You try and get the big players to come to play for us. There you go. Yeah, this
honestly, you're right. That would have been amazing, and I would have kept doing that.
Like I said, people don't see the big picture.
Like the Bulls. Oh my God, the Bulls would still be a dynasty if they would have just let Jordan, Pippen, and all them stay. That would let them ride it out to see if they lose. Like Jordan said, just let me lose. If I lose, I lose.
Right.
Wait, could you imagine if Jordan couldn't stay with the Bulls and then worked his way into it?
Right.
Oh my God. He sucks as a GM, but just him with the Bulls they would have got more people because you could have been playing under Jordan.
He actually got a better GM. They actually got that's why their team doing pretty good though. These last 2 seasons, they got Kupchak from Lakers, which was a good idea.
Yeah.
Went to North Carolina, of course.
And
North Carolina guy.
The best thing happened to us. 1996 happened all over again. We lost Kobe, but we got LaMelo. I was happy. I was like, yes. Yeah. I was about to call Jordan and said, yo, his brother on the market, get Lonzo too. So he bump it, go all in. Listen to the daddy. Go all in. Put all three of them on the court.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see it. I was ready to see all three of them together. I was like, yo, Jordan, if you make this move, I personally would take back everything I said about you as a GM, as an owner. I would be like, yo, that would have been the best move in life. If they would have lost, then they would have lost.
But I think he's kind of stepped back because, like I said, they've actually looked better
No. I
That's
mean,
so
they done a good job
right.
of assembling talent. I like the talent that they do
Yeah.
have. They're still young. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they're young, but the NBA is young. And
Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird, man. All right, as we close it out, man, you got anything?
All right. Well, hope this one goes through the way it's supposed to go.
It's gonna go.
It's
I
going to go.
see it.
You
It's
see
looking
it.
good.
We're gonna speak it up. We're gonna speak into existence.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna do good. But no, check us out. Check us out. Like I said, we are on Instagram, Facebook.
TikTok.
We're on Twitter too.
On TikTok.
Anchor.
Yeah.
Let the madness begin is on
toexposure.com.
on toexposure.com, which will be there weekend coming. We got to work on the SoundCloud thing too. We got a SoundCloud channel, so we got to work on that. That's pretty much it, man. Y'all stay out there, be safe. You know, don't forget to get the reach around. You know, as he calls it,
reach around.
To get the reach around. You know, and protect yourselves. You know, love life, be happy. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And Saturday, 8:30 on Saturday this time.
Just check us out on Saturday. We'll
Saturday,
be there, like I said.
To expose you on all social media sites and live your life, because when you're on your deathbed, you don't want to be that person and be like, man, I live my life for someone else and I didn't do what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's a nice one. Okay.
Be blessed.
Be blessed. Till next time.